Member for Deakin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Education. I refer the Minister to the government's announcement recently of the appointment of the Teacher Education Ministerial Advisory Group. How is the government getting on with the job of fulfilling its election commitments in school education?
I call the Leader of the House, Minister for Education.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I'm delighted to get a question from the member for Deakin about the government keeping its commitments in school education. I have to say that recently I had the opportunity to announce the Teacher Education Ministerial Advisory Group, and it completed one of the pillars that the government took to the election about how we are going to address student outcomes at our schools, putting students first. We'd already announced a review of the national curriculum to have the most robust curriculum possible. We've already announced a $70 million fund because we want to expand independent public schools, because we know that the more autonomy that a school has, the better the results for students, the higher the expectations for students, which means that we are putting students first. And then I announced the Teacher Education Ministerial Advisory Group, because all the research, whether it's our own local research, whether it's the OECD PISA study, shows that Australia, more than any other OECD country, the most important factor that affects a student's outcomes is the quality of the teachers. That report found that 8 out of 10 influences on a student's results will be the classroom to which they are allocated in a school, not their social background, not the curriculum, but the classroom to which they are allocated in a school. So we are focusing on the issues that matter in education: more autonomy for schools, a better curriculum for schools, higher teacher quality in schools. And support comes from the strangest places, Madam Speaker, because some members of the House might remember that my old sparring partner, Julia Gillard, she was the Minister for Education when I was the Shadow Minister for Education. Then she was the Prime Minister, pretending to be the Education Prime Minister, and I was the Manager of Opposition Business in the House and continuing to be the Shadow Minister for Education. And I used to say these same things for years and years and years, that education wasn't just about money, but it was about curriculum, it was about teacher quality, it was about autonomy. And the former Minister for Education, she never said that. For 6 years she always used to maintain that more money would solve every problem. And you know what she said on the 24th of February, freed from the shackles of government, freed from the shackles of the Prime Ministership? She said at the Brookings Institute, one of the things in developed countries like Australia is actually the amount of money going into education has been increasing, but learning outcomes haven't been increasing. So support comes from the strangest of places, Madam Speaker. The former Education Minister, the former Prime Minister, lining up with the new member for Perth and the government, insisting that money isn't everything, it's all the other things that we are doing in education.